Look, we're like a week into the season, so I hate to already be complaining about officiating, but genuinely, we saw not just questionable officiating, but one of the worst calls I think I've ever seen. And you know it's bad when the opposing team's announcers can't even believe it.
Minnesota's got a penalty too?
They get the only penalty out of that. Tripping call on Brodin.
What?
Yes.
You want the Kraken to have all the power plays and win all the games, but to me, that's not a penalty.
All right, so let's break it down. Just a few seconds prior, Eriksson Ek caught a bad elbow in the Seattle end from Larsson, which I don't think was intentional, but regardless, did go uncalled as that one had to hurt. But then, not 5 seconds later, it's Brodin along with Tanev going down along the boards, and initially you think, oh, Tanev got called for tripping, right? I mean, when you see this, who would you say is getting a penalty? Again, even the Seattle feed was assuming at most they both got a penalty, as maybe they thought Tanev caught a stick up high, but nope, it's just Brodin who's like, huh? He tripped me.
What?
Yes.
He had the puck. He was skating backwards.
So, yeah, somehow the officials call Brodin for tripping here, and I have no idea if Tanev did actually get caught up with a blade or something, or if that was a missed embellishment, but the trip was just an unbelievably bad call. Even worse, Eriksson Ek would leave the ice from that elbow as Seattle was now set to start their power play. And despite a nice effort from Fleury making a fantastic save here, catching a few posts as he thanks his friend, the Kraken set up Burakovsky far side and they score. Of course they do. It's a set play with Eberle there to redirect it, and if this entire sequence wasn't bad enough, some would say this was a kicking motion on the goal. Now you let me know your thoughts below, but ultimately no challenge and we had a tied game. Just a brutal couple minutes of luck for the Wild here, as suddenly they were in a very different hockey game because they actually scored the opening goal earlier in the first to take the lead, and then after Schwartz took a late period penalty for tripping, they appeared to score their second of the period right at the buzzer, but it was a fraction of a second too late. No worries, that power play would carry over to the second, where just a minute in, it's Boldy waiting and ripping one for his second of the year to indeed make it a 2-goal game. All was good until it wasn't, because that's where it went bad. The lead lasted all of 40 seconds as the Kraken attacking whack away at it and eventually would score as Eberle would get his first of the night to cut the lead in half. And that then gets us back to this whole debacle. Not even a fan of either team, but how do you call this? Anyway, Seattle, as I said, tied it up, which would then get us over to the third, where it was back and forth hockey. First, Rossi from the point, and it's Kaprizov in front. This time, it's gonna count as he nets his first of the year. But responding just 66 seconds later, again, it's Karche with his first. Tanev feeding it to the middle, and just like that, we were tied up again. So now, with 7 to go, it's boldly centering one for Hartman as he scores in a very similar looking goal to once again regain the lead. Yeah, you already know. On a delayed penalty, Evans for McCann, and for the third time in this hockey game, the Seattle Kraken would tie it up again, as this one would end up needing extra time. And in overtime, while Boldy cut into the net nearly ended it here, we would ultimately need to go to a shootout where who else but Jordan Eberle would give the Kraken the lead, putting the game on the stick of Boldy, who had a great night but misses the net. So the Seattle Kraken, who never led once in this game, win the game in Minnesota, who did get a point, but this one's gotta hurt. Anyway, that's it for this one. Thank you for watching. I'll see you in the next one.